Hello traders, Pavel here from FTMO, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you at another interview video with one of our funded traders, Mike from the United States. Hello Mike and welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you, Pavel?
I'm alright, thanks. And you, Mike?
Good, very good.
Perfect. Mike is a trader who is from the city of Idaho Falls, which is in Idaho. And that is a place which is in the northwest in the US, very close to Salt Lake City and very short distance to a Yellowstone National Park. So I believe it's a beautiful place to live, and you have it very close in vicinity to nature, isn't it?
Yeah, very good. I mean, we're also close to Jackson Hole Resort, which is a big place that they travel to in business, and so it's all nice. A lot of pretty area.
That is a meeting where a lot of central bankers meet, right?
Yeah, once a year they have a meeting up there. Once a year they meet up there.
Okay.
I always want to go, but I don't know if they'll let me in.
Why not? You tell them you're a trader, maybe you'll be welcome.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, just a brief introduction for those of you who are not familiar with our project. FTMO is the online proprietary trading firm where we look for successful traders whom we fund trading accounts. Okay, so the way we do that, we have our evaluation process for that, which consists of two stages. The first stage is called the challenge, followed by the second stage, which is called the verification. Each stage of this evaluation process has certain risk management parameters that we want our traders to respect and follow. Once you pass the evaluation process, you will be given offer to join our proprietary trading firm. You will sign the contract and you will be managing your funded account. What is interesting about today's interview is that Mike is our trader. He's with us for more than 1 year, and Mike is managing 5 funded accounts as of now. So Mike started trading, I believe it was exactly in July last year, wasn't it, Mike?
So I signed up in July. So it was kind of crazy how when I first did the first challenge, I signed up probably last July, but I didn't take the first trade on that account until like January, February timeframe. Matter of fact, I was afraid it wasn't going to go through, and I got a hold of the support team, and they said that it was deactivated, but they reactivated the account. So it worked good, but I just didn't feel like I had the ability to pass the challenge, and I kind of waited till I was a little more confident.
I see. All right, Mike, could you just briefly introduce yourself? Tell us who you are as a trader and how long do you trade actually?
So obviously I'm Mike out of Idaho Falls here. Live in a beautiful country, got a beautiful wife, and a very smart kid. And we pretty much most of our time is family time, so that's pretty much how we spend our time together. But from a trading aspect, I've always been interested in trading. Or I've always been interested in the financial markets, but I got a degree in financial management, and they kind of taught us during that whole process that you need to be a buy and hold, Warren Buffett style, and trying not to get into trading. So I really didn't follow trading at all. But about a year ago, last May, actually, a business associate of mine told me I've got to check into these currency tradings. Him and I had talked finances a lot, the state of the markets, the state of the economy, stuff like that. And he's always been a currency trader, and I've never liked traders. I mean, it's a bad thing to say, but back then my mind was set and I just didn't like trading. But he started telling me he's made about 2 to 3% a month. And I'm like, well, that's 24 to 36% a year. I maybe ought to check this out. And so that's how I got into trading. And so just kind of ended up following different people on the internet, and watched a lot of YouTube videos, did a lot of reading on the computer, and just kind of taught myself the currency market. It's pretty difficult market to learn given the fact of PIP. I mean, I'm used to talking dollars, and so a PIP is different in each currency. So that was a little bit of hard concept for me to grasp. And not only that, the fact that the leveraging, everything like that, it's been good. It's been a wild ride, but it's been worth it.
I see. So for how long do you trade already? How long it took you to get to this stage where you are right now?
I took my first trade at the end of May last year. So, but I can tell you last year was pretty much a learning year for me. I think I ended up making roughly 3 or 4,000. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything to write home about either. But it was December last year. I started following the individual that Scott Welsh. I started following him and utilizing his robots and his EAs. And so because of that, I feel like that's where I've gotten a lot of success from. I know in my personal account, I've seen a 50% growth. And here I trade off of Oanda. So, and it doesn't seem like it's crazy, but I don't get as many good trades off of Oanda as I get off of the FTMO LMAX data feed.
That is only good for us. Okay. And we'll
Yeah.
get to talk about your trading strategy after a while. So before that, can you tell us where have you learned to trade and who was your mentor?
So I don't know that I really had a mentor. I wish I did. I think I spent a lot of time looking for somebody just because I was afraid of a lot of people just want your money, to be honest. And so there's a lot of marketing gimmicks, a lot of marketing people out there. Learned a lot about the currency market from Rob Booker off of YouTube. And so that's probably the person that kind of helped me the most, even though it wasn't directly.
I see. Yeah, one has to really be careful in this industry for sure.
Yeah, there's so many. And matter of fact, I almost, before I started getting into the Scott Welsh programs, I almost jumped into some of the ones that FTMO offers.
I see. All right, Mike, since April this year, you keep on passing the evaluation process and you keep on opening new funded account every month. Was that your plan initially when you started?
No, not at all. The first time the first time I passed the challenge, I probably didn't even think I could pass the challenge. I was super stressed about passing it. And quite honestly, when I first did that first challenge is when the coronavirus hit. And I thought my success was because of the coronavirus. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as I got the account and don't lose it, right? So then I thought, well, let me get into another challenge while the coronavirus is hot. And it's just, I don't know if it's been luck or if it's the coronavirus or if it's just the way the markets have gone, but it's just kind of worked out for me. Every time I finish a challenge and that goes into verification, I usually start another challenge.
I see. Has the volatility during the coronavirus situation helped your trading?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it has. I mean, but then again, my best month was last month. I don't know that there was a lot of volatility last month, but a lot of my accounts, the funded accounts, grew 20%. I hit all my targets pretty easy on the challenge and the verification. So it definitely helps, but I don't know that I can give last month credit for that.
I think you can, because I believe we are still in this sort of aftermath after the coronavirus situation when the markets across the board were really volatile, right? And we've seen the volatility last month as well. And starting this month, there is some markets, they are still, there's a lot of volatility still. So I believe this only plays in your favor.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right, perfect. Now you're managing multiple accounts with us. So do you trade all those accounts identically, or do you deploy the same strategy, or maybe do you have another trading systems for each account, or how do you manage that?
I trade the same system. I guess if you got something that works, if something's not broken, don't fix it. And so I'm a little afraid to try something because I know this works, but at the same time, I am trying a new one right now that I'm getting in my personal account, and I'm looking forward to trading in FTMO as well.
I see. All right. Can you now describe your trading strategy? That is something that definitely interests a lot of traders. So how do you trade? Are you a technical trader or are you fundamental trader? Do you follow macroeconomics or do you purely trade price action? Or what is your trading style and approach?
So definitely 100% fundamentals, or not fundamentals, technical. Sorry.
Technical trade.
I trade off of EAs that I use, and they trade basically. One of them, I trade two different EAs. One is called the Dragonfly, and it trades off of the previous day's highs and lows, and then it also trades off of the ADX matrix or the indicator. And then the other one, and it only trades for like an hour. As far as opening trades, it only opens for like an hour when the U.S. markets open, and actually it'd be the U.S. stock market. I think the currency markets open at 7, but this will trade, or 7 my time, 9 o'clock. But it'll be from 7:30 my time till about 10:45 or 8:45.
I see.
And then,
Which is just shortly after the US equities open, right?
yep,
All right.
it's right when the U.S.
Okay.
equities
I
open.
see. And your system, those expert advisors that you use, do they only use ADX indicator or do they have any other indicators there as well?
That one, the Dragonfly does. I also trade another one. It's called the Hornet, and it trades in the afternoon. Local time, it'd be from 1 to 5. So Eastern time, 3 to 7. But anyhow, it trades off of RSI readings.
I see. So RSI and ADX are the main decisive indicators for you.
Yeah.
I see. All right. I just want to give a little clarification here for traders who use expert advisors. Just as Mike is using expert advisors, then, FTMO, we don't have problems for traders using expert advisors as long as we can replicate the trading results to our live corporate accounts. That is all that matters, right? So if your trading is legitimate, then we will be able to replicate those same trading results on our live account from which we pay our traders their profit share, right? So we don't have any limitations. We don't have any reasons to restrict the usage of EAs. So that is absolutely fine. Just like Mike is an example of a trader who's using EAs throughout all. Mike, I believe you deploy these EAs on all of your accounts, right?
Yep.
Okay, I see. So that's not a problem at all, right? So if there's any trader who's watching us and thinking that we are restricting the usage of EAs, that's not the case. Traders who use EAs are welcome with us as long as they monitor and respect those trading objectives that we want our traders to do. Okay, so Mike, you have never failed a single challenge. What is this? What is the secret for that? What's the recipe? Did you even prepare yourself for the trading objectives, maybe in the free trial, or how did you approach this?
So like I said, I signed up, and it took me a good 6 to 8 months to actually start the challenge. I knew it was the program I wanted to do, but I knew what the objectives were also, and the robot that I was trading, or the EA that I was trading at the time, I knew it could hit the profit targets, but it also carries a huge drawdown, and I didn't think there was any way I'd be able to make it through the daily loss limits and stuff and still hit that profit target. So it took me a while to find a system that I was comfortable with and that could pass the objectives.
I see. And you succeeded very nicely. Here you are with 5 funded accounts.
Yeah, I've been lucky for sure. I can't complain.
Definitely. Okay, let's now have a look at your account matrices so that we show traders your trading performance. These are the accounts that Mike is managing. So I'm looking at your account metrics now. This is the first one, which started in 24th of April 2020. And then you had another one which started on 6th of May, another one in June. Here's another one in June, and this is the account which is now waiting for you to start. And as you guys see, Mike is having all different account sizes, but overall all these account sizes combined do not reach our permitted maximum capital allocation per trader or per strategy, which is $300,000. Right, so this one is with 10,000. This account is with $25,000. This account is with $50,000. This one is with $100,000, and a new one is waiting for Mike to start trading with $10,000. So just for let's have a look at the oldest account, which started on 24th of April this year, and we see a beautiful balance curve without almost any drawdown. Just as the same, there was a slight drawdown down here on the other account, but basically all the accounts are pretty much very nice equity curve, balance curve with minimum drawdown. So the first thing I've noticed on these accounts, they are all very identical and pretty much the results are correlated, but that is because Mike is using the expert advisor. Mike, do you deploy any trade copier, or is it all these accounts have the same EA and just trading the same fashion, or do you just deploy it on one account and using the copier throughout the other accounts?
No, it's the same EAs on every account. I just started, and I'm a little bit nervous on it because I just started using the auto sizing. And just letting the auto size go. On the afternoon one, the Hornet, I've always used the auto sizing, but the other one I haven't. So I've basically, by my account size, so I trade by my stop loss with FTMO, and I kind of trade by that with myself, my risk that I'm comfortable taking. But in order to hit the profit targets, I doubled what I would normally take on my own account, but I also make sure it's small enough that I can take 3 or 4 losses in a day and not be in jeopardy of blowing up the account.
I see. Looking at the assets you trade, I see you narrow your focus only on 3 forex pairs. Why is that?
Well, it's all based on the Japanese yen. It's their trending EAs, so they pick up on a trend and they try to follow the trend, if you will. So obviously the yen is a high trending currency, so that's basically the reason why.
I see. Well, so if you specialize purely for Japanese pairs, have you thought of including other Japanese crosses? Maybe like Aussie yen, Kiwi yen, Canadian dollar, Japanese yen?
So in my own accounts, I have expanded out a little bit. I haven't with FTMO yet, just because I haven't really seen the success rate in a live account. I want to make sure that I'm going to have similar success rate with those. So yes, I have, but I haven't with FTMO yet.
I see. Well, that's a good strategy. The approach, the Japanese yen pairs move a lot in relation to market risk on and risk off sentiment. So are there any assets which might react similarly that you thought of including in your portfolio? Let's say, for example, gold or Swiss franc.
So in my personal accounts, I do trade gold, and I also trade oil in leveraged ETFs. So I do trade those personally, but FTMO, I do know that it's a little more difficult because I believe at the end of each market, you have to close your trade. And I work also, so a lot of during the open market hours I'm working. So it's not really viable. But the currency, I know there's the laughs that you thing, but I can basically just close all my trades on Friday, and I don't really have to worry about it too much.
I see. I'm just showing traders right now the screenshot of one of your best trades, which was on the GBP Japanese yen, which is called the Dragons as well. So there is a beautiful short trade down here. I'm just displaying it on a 30 minutes time frame. And you've managed to capture 226 pips. And the position size, I'm not really sure now what was the position size, but it was very, very safe and very appropriate to in relation to your account size. And we see that you rode a nice wave downwards. So that is a beautiful trade. And I believe one of your trades were also featured in our trade of the day, topic that we put on our social media channels. So that is a very nice trade, this one, 226 pips, which is very hard to capture. It's not that frequent, but this is a beautiful trade here. So, Mike, talking about your position sizing, how do you calculate your position sizing? Do you have static money management, or do you have percentage-based system, or do you maybe specific size in ratio to your current account equity, or how does it work when it comes to volume size?
So volume sizing is done off. I use the auto sizing matrix. So one I use 2.5%. The other one I use 5% of the available balance. But basically, I come up with those numbers based off the stop loss. I think in the first two challenges, I feel like my trade size was too big. And I got lucky, right, that I didn't have a big loser. But if I would have had one or two big losers, I think I would have lost the challenge. So I dropped my trade size down to match my stop loss to where I wanted this. I would feel comfortable hitting the complete bottom.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Well, the longest single trade duration when I was looking at your accounts before was 76 hours, which is slightly over 3 days. So besides that, most of your trades are intraday. So could you tell us a little more about that? How do you determine when to exit from the position? I mean, this is probably done by your EA, but is there any set of rules when you should, your EA should exit the trade?
Yes. So the Dragonfly is the only one that'll have a time exit because they all have time exits, but I trade the 15-minute charts, and the Dragonfly on the Euro Japanese yen is what is it? It's like 100 ticks. So after 115-minute ticks, then it'll automatically close out. The rest of them are basically I close out by Friday, but the EA will also, if it determines that the trend has changed, it'll reverse out of it and get into the new trend. So that's one thing that closes it out pretty quickly. And then the Hornet that I trade in the afternoon, or in the trades in the afternoon, it's in the middle of the night, it'll close out. I think the longest I have that one on the Euro thing is at 70 ticks.
Oh, I see. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Exit after the ticks. First time I hear something like that. But why not? It works for you.
Yeah.
All right. Looking at your performance statistics, you have a very good statistics when we talk about a win rate, 67% on your oldest account. Risk to reward is brilliant as well. Profit factor. So how come your trading performance has such a low drawdown? It is a very controlled and well-managed risk. So the EA really had to be fine-tuned for this, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. So from one aspect, it doesn't take a lot of trades either. So 2 weeks ago, I took one trade and it closed out at a break even. So, I mean, all week, that's all I had. Last week, it only took two trades. One was profitable. The other one, I think, closed. No, actually, they were both profitable. But it's kind of hard sometimes going through a week, and like I have one robot that won't even trade at all that week, and gets a little stressful because you kind of worry about, am I going to make it? But it also takes good trades, I think. I just hit some losses yesterday and today, but they're still manageable losses, So, but for the most part, it takes some pretty good trades, and not a lot, but it seems like most of the time they're good. It's about a 60-40%. So 60% of the time it wins, and 40% it's going to lose or break even.
I see. Mike, how do you monitor trading objectives? Looking at your trading objectives, do you use any software in the MetaTrader platform, or do you just regularly overview them in the account metrics?
So a little of both. I have I like to watch the trades a lot, and so I'll look at them in the MT4 platform, and then I use the account matrix to make sure I'm hitting my profit targets as well as not coming close to my losses. And sometimes when you got 3 or 4 trades that close in a day, you guys are on 8 hours ahead of us. So the daily time frame is different. Like for me, it resets at 5 p.m. So I may have had some losses last night and I forget about those, and then have more in the morning. Then that can push you over,
I see. I see. Yeah, this is the most important thing, I'll just specify it a little bit. We have these four trading objectives, which is the core of our business. We don't want traders to violate these trading objectives. This is the most important aspect of risk management from our perspective. So the most important, obviously, are the drawdown parameters, which is the maximum daily loss and the maximum loss. You are very safe within these boundaries, but basically maximum daily loss means that the trader should not lose more than 5% of the account of the account initial balance at any single day on the equity, and the same on the max loss for the duration of the challenge verification or within when you have your FTMO account. Then there is a profit target on the challenge on verification. There is no profit target once you are funded. So Mike, you are now trading without a profit target basically. So whatever profit you generate, that's gonna be, you have a profit split in your account metrics, and during your profit split, we just take whatever profit is there. We split it 70% for you and 30% for us, and that's it. You don't need to chase any profit at all. You have a free hands, absolute free, peace of mind. So that's a good thing for traders who get to our funded account. You don't need to chase any profit at all. So Mike, even though you're using a Dragonfly and a Hornet EAs, do you also, as a trader, do you generally have some trading plan, or do you follow it, or how complex is it if you have any?
So I would say it's kind of complex because I believe in being diversified. I really haven't been able to get a discretionary trade pattern down. I've jumped from I started with the RSIs, did a little bit of ADX training or MACD training, trading. The last trading that I was doing discretionarily was crossover trading, and found a crossover robot. So now I think that's going to take care of that. And I don't think I'm going to need to do discretionary trading. I just have a pretty good portfolio of different robots or EAs to carry me along.
I see. That's absolutely, probably the safest way to try it, having everything automated and just let the computer do the thing, because that is how you eliminate, emotions and human factor and human error that happens very often.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. During your trades, you didn't have many losing streaks, right? So are you prepared to face these if they come?
Yeah, for sure. I've a matter of fact. So, like I said, June was a very good month for me. Most of my accounts grew by 20% with FTMO, but I kept telling my wife, we're getting ready for a losing streak here. And she's like, what do you mean? We can't be. And I'm like, yeah, we are. We only win 60. We've been winning close to 100. So we're going to take some losses coming up,
Yeah, definitely. Every trader has to take them into account, right? These
Yep.
come sooner or later. Everyone is facing that. I'm facing that. A lot of our traders have losing streaks. So that's the nature of this business anyway. So
Yep.
yeah. All right. Do you have any trading figure? Do you follow someone? Is there somebody who inspires you in the world of trading?
So Scott Welsh, basically, he is the person I've gotten the robots from, most of them that I use. I do use some of Rob Booker's robots, but Scott Welsh has a great training program. The settings I use, the reason I use them is because that's what he trades. I haven't changed the settings at all. The only one I did is the Hornet. I added the Euro yen, but I did take his profit target or the stop loss and cut it in half for FTMO, just to make sure I was safe on my daily loss. But it really hasn't hurt, and if anything, I think it tests out doing better. So.
I see. All right. Yeah, I know Rob Booker as well. I'm following him, so it's a good figure.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, Mike, have you read any trading book? Is there any trading book you could recommend, or just give us some suggestion?
It's not really a trading book, but it's more about I know you guys have a lot of psychology, but it's more about the psychology of trading. It's called the I can't even say it, inevitability of becoming rich. And it has what it does. It takes a ancient scholar and takes his words and puts it into modern day philosophy. So you can look at the things that he was saying about becoming rich still applies today in our own world. And essentially, it's all about the mindset. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter where your education is. It doesn't matter. All that doesn't matter. What really matters is what's going on up here.
I couldn't agree more. And the name of the book is
Inevitability of becoming rich.
Becoming Rich. Okay.
Yeah.
Any idea if that's an audiobook as well? Because I like to listen to audiobooks.
That I don't know. I don't know for
I might
sure.
have a look.
Yeah, I think I got it on the Kindle.
I see. All right. Okay. I believe I've mentioned this topic already about the profit target in your FTMO account. But basically, is it easier for you to trade the FTMO account when you don't have any profit target to chase?
So, for me, I still have that profit target there as a goal, 10%. I mean, the real reason behind that is I look at FTMO and you don't want to just turn out money and you're just handing out money and it's not growing. You're not going to want to continue to do it, right?
Yeah.
So if I can make 10% each month, that's going to provide a 30 to 40% growth rate over the year for FTMO and your investors. So with that in mind, I still try to hit that 10% target. And then after I hit that 10% target, I usually take my sizes down so that I don't risk losing it. And so.
Okay, talking about that, let's inspire traders with your withdrawals. You have already made 4 withdrawals from all your accounts. Let me just show the screenshot of the payouts that you received. Let me just give me a moment. There we go. These are your payouts from all your funded accounts. Okay, so you start scoring nicely in January. On 5th of June. These are all your profit withdrawals. These amounts that you see here, those are those 70% which we've sent to you. You've already received your last one, right? This $7,000 US dollars.
Yeah. Actually, I just woke up to that this morning. So that was sitting in my account when I woke up this morning. Definitely makes your day very good.
What a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good feeling.
So, Mike, do you have, on the last note, do you have any secret recipe for traders to succeed or how to pass the evaluation process to get funded? What would you recommend to someone who's looking at us and thinking about joining the proprietary trading firm like us?
So a couple things. I've had some people ask questions about it. I mean, I had somebody ask me is FTMO even worth my time? Is it really worth my time? And my answer to that was, June was a very good month, but in July I'll probably make 20,000, 20 plus thousand. So, I mean, I think by the time I'm currently working on getting aggressive accounts. That $10,000 account is the aggressive. I've got a 25,000 aggressive in verification, and I'm doing the 50,000 challenge. So I get those. I figure by the end of the year, if I can grow 10%, my balance 10% in each account, I'll be making pretty close to 30 a month. And if I maintain that, that's pretty impressive and definitely worth your time, I do have another friend that's the one that got me into trading, actually, currency trading. He's thinking about entering, but he's just not sure if his robot will do it. But I had him go on to FTMO, sign up for the practice account, and basically we wrote down all the objectives. So he had those and knew what he needed to do to see if he could succeed.
I see. Perfect. If there is anybody who's looking at this interview and thinking that he or she might have the EA or some strategy that could work, every trader has the chance to try it in our free trial. It doesn't cost anything. It is just a shortened version of the challenge. It takes 14 days. The duration is 14 days. So you can basically test your trading skills there. It doesn't cost anything. You can just practice if your trading has what it takes to succeed in our evaluation process to get funded. Right? So traders can trade as many free trials as they want. There's a one free trial at a time. So if you're not comfortable to jump into the challenge, you can just take another free trial and keep on practicing, and maybe just tweak the strategy to the parameters that will be, that you will be comfortable with, and that can, pass our trading objectives in the challenge and in the verification. So that's it. Mike, is there anything else you would like to say on the last note before we roll this up?
No, I just really like my appreciation to FTMO. It's a great opportunity for me, great opportunity for my family. And I really appreciate being able to be in part of the program. I know it's a challenging program and a hard challenge to beat, but definitely well worth it. So it's definitely something that you don't want to give up on, I don't think.
Definitely. Mike, thank you so much. I highly appreciate you being here with us today from the beautiful place of Idaho Falls. And your trading progress speaks for itself. 5 trading accounts, 5 funded accounts. You keep on withdrawing regularly. And with that upward, balance curve, I believe more profits are there for you waiting just around the corner. So once again, I wish you all the best in your trading. Keep it up, Mike. That's a brilliant performance. And thank you so much for taking time being here with us today. And see you later.
Thank you. You have a great day too.
Same to you. Bye-bye. Cheers.
Bye.